Okay. Hello, Mr. Rempel and Mr. Rempelson, because this is mainly who it's for. Let's start out on Kerbal Space Program. Obviously click Start Game, and you'll get this screen here. Click on Start New, and you need to move that green dot with these arrows here, and then put it onto the sandbox. If you want to change the name of the save, you need to click square and change it to moon. I'm just going to call it my moon. And then if you want to change anything else, like the difficulty, which you're not going to want to, or the flag, which you might want to, you're going to have to click triangle. I always change the flag to the UK Space Agency, which is down here. And again, you move around the little green square with these arrows. For some reason, it don't. Oh, wait, it does work with this. Didn't know that. Obviously, I'm going to use UK Space Agency because why not? So, you're just going to click. Oh. 1 second. Slight problem. I'll cut this out. I'm sorry if I can't cut it out. Just gonna get rid of. Let's see. Jesus Christ, I'm not so good. Let's go for Transport Fever. Again, very sorry for that. Oh, yeah, that might hold up. Then all these little help tips that are gonna pop up. You can read them if you want, but I'm not going to because, well, honestly, I've never read them. But you can if you want to. So, this is your space center here. You can move around by holding down this button here and using this joystick, which means you can do this. Then you can use the left stick, I believe. Oh no, never mind. Oh no, you just use it. No, you have to click off of that if you want to move your camera. Sorry, I'm getting confused. But just have a look around your space center if you want. Like this building down here is normally the research center for career mode, but you're not going to need that. And this here is normally the mission control center, also for career mode. Again, you're not going to need it. This building here is for hiring astronauts, but again, don't need that so far. Here is a tracking station. You can use that to track all your flights. Just going to move that down a bit. Sorry. Oh. There we are. Oh no. Very sorry. There. Sorry about the screen quality. For some reason my phone doesn't like doing regular screen quality. It'll again tell you how to use this. But once you've had launch some flights, you'll be able to see them up here. But obviously you can't right now because, well, you've not launched any. Then you just need to click the options button up here and go down to leave tracking station. You can also get onto different buildings by just using the menu down the left, which you can also move around by using these arrows here. And then just click on the vehicle assembly building, which will be at the bottom. It tells you what everything is on the top above it once you're selecting it. So just press X on the vehicle assembly building. Then we can get to making you a rocket that can hopefully go to the moon. As of now, I don't think you've downloaded the DLCs. If you can, I'd advise doing it. They might be free, well, they should be free, but if they're not, then you'll be fine playing the game. To move your camera about in the vehicle assembly building, you just use this. You don't hold any buttons down. To move up, you just hold down this button here, and then use this to go up and down, left and right, so you can just move around. To get this cursor that's in the... To get this cursor that's... Oh my god, where is it? The cursor that's in the middle of the screen here. All you have to do is click down on this left stick here, and then you should get a little cursor. What you want to do with this cursor, you want to move it to this command pod up here, or you could just use the Mark 1 to 3, which gives you a bit more, which makes you be able to hold multiple Kerbals, but I'd go with the Mark 2 command pod, which is next to the Mark 2 cockpit down here, because it can hold 2 Kerbal. I can't speak today. Hold 2 Kerbals, and it's a fairly big one, fairly big command pod, enabling you to use bigger fuel tanks. I'm very sorry, I can't speak. Next, you want to click on this little fire icon down here, and you should get some heat shields and radiator panels. These don't particularly matter right now because you're not going to use them until you want to build like a space station or something. But I believe you need the 1.875 meter heat shield, which you'll just drag to the bottom, and these little green circles need to match up onto there. Again, it's that one in the top right corner of the little screen, of the little panel on the left. There you go, you've got a command pod with a heat shield. Next, we're going to go to this little coupling section up here. I'm not really sure how to explain it, but it's under the little robot arm up here. Once you go over all of the little squares on the left, it will tell you what they are, and if you can't see the little icon, it is just a little magnet thing, I'm pretty sure. So just click on that, and then down here you will get all these decouplers, and you've got stack separators, which I haven't particularly figured out, and then you'll get just regular decouplers. I think you need to use this decoupler. No, never mind, that's way too big. Use this decoupler here, and make sure it's not like that, otherwise it'll just do that. That's my sister banging on the door when she could go through the open door. You need to make sure it's dragged up to the top one here, otherwise it'll just make a little shroud, which you don't particularly want just like that. You need to drag it up like that. Now you've pretty much set up your command pod, but you still need to get a parachute. Up here, you're not really going to want to use a launch escape system. You might have a launch escape system, but I wouldn't risk it. So you probably just want to use this Mark 16 parachute just here, and just drag it to the top of your capsule. We've not had to use symmetry yet, which is good, but if you want to, you can take your cursor down to the bottom left of your screen on this little circle, and it should say cycle symmetry count, and there should be toggle snap. If you turn the snap off like that, you should just get a little circle inside of a bigger circle. But if you turn it back on, which it should be on normally, it should be like a hexagon around a little circle. Now here, if you want to add 2, let's say Mark 2 radial mount, oh god, that's a bit big. Let's just go with Mark 12. You can just press that once, and you should get one there, which means you should get them there. And then when you want to put it back to non-symmetry, just click it until it's just a little circle inside a bigger circle. And now my granddad and little sister are here, so it might be a bit louder.
Hello.
After that, you've got the parachutes in the staging section in the bottom right. You'll also have this little decoupler icon, which you'll want to move down to that by clicking on it and dragging it down, which should be pretty easy to do. And to make an extra stage section, just click this little plus that should appear when you hover over the staging sections down here. Now, I'll just show you what should happen. Now, if you just click X here, that is the stage. So if you click X, it'll launch you out of it'll decouple, like that. Then after, you'll be coming down out of the air, obviously. And then you can just click X, and it would normally activate your parachutes, but because we're on the ground, it hasn't. You don't need to do any of that because it's not of any use to you as of now. Because now we probably want to start building your rocket that's hopefully going to get to the moon. By the way, I'm just testing this. I've never actually made this rocket yet. I reckon for your first rocket, it's a fairly big tank, but you're going to want to have more fuel than you need to be sure of getting back. So yeah, we're just going to use this tank down here. You click that little water icon and change how it looks to however you want it to look, but I'm just going to use the regular pattern for it. Here we are. This is just a regular fuel tank on what's going to become your lander. You want to go into this little wheel icon now and go into the L2 landing strut, which should give you a fairly large landing strut like that. Now, you want to click on the symmetry on the bottom left again and do it to 4. So 4 little quarters in your big circle. Now just pick up your landing gear and place them back down on here, and now you should have 4. Then just select it multiple more times until it goes back to the one tiny circle in the bigger circle. Next, go on the engines, which should just be a little engine icon on the left. You could use a Terrier, but it's probably not powerful enough. So what I'm going to say you use is probably the Bobcat. I should think that should be able to lift you up. Oh yeah, it's got plenty of fuel in it, and it's a very powerful engine. If you click on this little bar under the staging icons here, you should be able to see your TWR, which stands for thrust to weight ratio, and ours is a 2.51, which means that it's a very powerful engine for what it wants. You could also just go Apollo style and put on the engine that the Apollo astronauts used, except it's too big, and also it's on the Making History DLC, so you won't have it. So yeah, maybe the Bobcat's too big. So if you're going to use the Bobcat, which you probably should, just click the little water icon down here, and then you should be able to make a smaller version of it. Which, no you can't, that's a bit of a problem. Sorry. Maybe the Poodle. Oh god. I have no idea of how big engines are. Let's go with the Wolfhound. Jesus Christ, what am I doing? Right. No, too big. Right. We'll carry on with the Bobcat, but I'll show you a tool. So in the top right here, you've got all these 4 little icons. You want to click on the one that says Tool, Move, and then click on your landing gear. Yep, thought so. You also want to turn off snap, which is in the bottom left next to symmetry. And what you want to do is you want to use this stick, you want to move it to the left, and it will use the y-axis and push down your gear, which means we are still going to have to be careful when landing this thing, but it still shouldn't be too much of a challenge. You can also just bring it out a bit more, but I wouldn't do that because otherwise it's going to make your landing gear go up, which we don't want. But here we are. You've now got your landing gear and you've got an engine. After that, you move your cursor onto the landing gear. Don't select it, but just press square and it should bring up this menu. After that, on the bottom there should be something that says start retracted. You want to click that because then it'll fold in your landing gear so you're ready for when you need to land. For this we're not going to add any solar panels because you don't really need any because it's not unmanned. Next, you want to click on the command pod as it's the root part. Hold down on this button and move up and down with this. But what you want to do is take it a bit higher up here so you have space to build the rest of your rocket. Now, we want to go back to where you got this part